Hello you, yes you. Are you curious what I see, how my workspace looks like? Well, I've been asked that question a couple of times, so I thought, let me sketch it for you. And let's get started with the little sketch. Well, actually, I've been asked by a couple of people to show off my workspace and also been asked to sketch my workspace. And I thought, oh yeah, sketching my workspace, that's actually a really good idea. And since in general I like drawing stuff in fisheye lens, and I don't do it so often, I thought, wow, okay, this is a pretty good opportunity for me to just draw something in fisheye lens, and that's something being actually quite familiar to me because it is my work area. Interesting part was that I didn't draw it at my work area, and it's not like I set up and I was looking from the point of view that I'm drawing here. No, I was actually sitting first of all on the couch next to my area that you can also see here on the right side. I was sitting on that couch. That's where I started sketching out the idea for this. And then later on I moved to the kitchen and I drew on the kitchen table because that's where I like to do these bigger traditional sketches when I'm videotaping them, because it's just much easier to set up my camera above the kitchen table and do the drawing there than in front of my desk. And as you will see in the drawing, there is a pivotable camera holder, which is technically a microphone holder, but I use it for camera, that I use in front of, on top of my desk, but I still didn't set up a proper lighting for myself, and there's not that much space, so I do that mostly for live streams on Instagram. But yeah, so basically I was drawing this thing with my back to the actual subject that I was drawing, and that's also interesting that you notice the more time you spend with a particular subject, the more you will know it. I did have to turn around once or twice just to make sure that I got a specific detail right, but yeah, it was just interesting that I sort of know so much about the table. Obviously, some of the proportions are wrong. For example, the bigger monitor is more of a flat screen. This is like really almost squarish. But most of it, I'm quite surprised that I got down from memory that well. And just turn back a little bit to the fisheye perspective, which is quite interesting because I always find it hard to explain that, because basically it's just a lens that is set up for widescreen, if I remember it correctly. So it's not necessarily for, or even in close-up shots, so you can see more from the environment. But it's not the most natural thing for the human eye to see everything distorted like this. So it's very interesting for me to try and figure out if I'm doing things properly, because you still have to have sort of vanishing points in mind. So in this case, all the vanishing points are somewhere in the center of the sphere, and as you can see, all the other lines they sort of go around the sphere. At least that's in my head how I imagine something like this. Everything just drawn around the sphere.
Oh hey guys, hi, it's me, Robert. Did you know that you can support me? I have a Gumroad. In the description there's a link where you can see videos like this. And also videos like this. And not just videos, you can also download PSD files. So check out the link in the description down below.
But yeah, in general, it's just a very cool exercise for me to try this out. And sometimes I do it a little bit a more, I don't know, a more strong perspective with these. And by that I mean much more distortion due to the fisheye lens. And sometimes I just do less distortion. But there's plenty of mistakes in there. I think you can get away with more, because this is just not something that's well defined and you see all the time, so you can make much more mistakes that you can get away with when you're doing a drawing like this. But it's also good because you just notice in yourself like, oh wow, I don't know what to do here, so you have to step back for a second and think a little bit, okay, like how would this go what does this do exactly? So it's actually a good challenge, and I do recommend for people to try that.
I just wanted to pop in here quickly and show you the pre-sketch that I did, where actually I wanted to show a little bit more of my room, but I just noticed that it's fun to draw these, but it's like less and less information as it goes away. So I decided to just concentrate on this part, even though I think in hindsight this illustration is more interesting and I like it more. So for me personally, I might be working this out later, but anyways, I just wanted you to see also just a quick thought process before I started with a bigger illustration.
And with that, back to the actual drawing and looking at my beautiful forehead. But yeah, so basically from here on, I will just do the marker work, adding some shadows here and there and just tightening up my lines. Also cross-hatching here and there, just a little bit to pop those shadows a little bit more. So I will stop with the commentary here for the moment, but I will continue at minute 9. So if you can jump ahead to minute 9 if you're not interested in the rendering or the marker part of the drawing, because there I will just go through what are the particular elements that I'm drawing here and what are the things that you can see around my working area. So yeah, see you at minute 9. Alright, so let's break down the elements that I have here in the drawing. First of all, I have my Cintiq 13 HD, which is my main workhorse. That's where I do most of my work, but I also keep my iPad Pro on my table, and I do this for quite a lot of work, but I also like to call it the Netflix device because I take it with me everywhere in the house to watch some Netflix on the go. I got used to the 2-monitor setup back in the day when I just had a simple Intuos. One was for reference and the other was for working. Now, since I have a separate screen, one is for reference and the other one is for YouTube or Netflix on the side while I work. Then I have these really cute Transformer coasters that my girlfriend made for me, and I'm quite proud of them because one is the Decepticon sign and the other is an Autobot sign. I'm a huge Transformers fan, so that is also a very important part of my desk. And then I have a whole bunch of sketchbooks laying next to me, not just sketchbooks, also paper and all sorts of stuff where I draw on. One thing that I forgot is there is a webcam on one of my monitors. Then there is the plant next to me, which is still alive, which is actually fantastic, I must say. Then to the right, I mentioned this before, I have the camera holder, which I can swivel around quite nicely. Then obviously we have the computer, the most important part if you want to do digital drawing. I am a big gamer, so we also have the Xbox One controller that is connected to my controller, and a couple of game figurines like I think an Iron Man, War Machine, and a Transformer toy. Then my chair, which is the throne in this case. Then the bigger area is full of mostly art supplies and a little bit of clutter. Then, as always, a whole bunch of clutter in my upper thingy, and then just art supplies all over the table here and there. And I forgot to mention that there's also the microphone. And with that, we have come to the end of this little illustration of mine. I do hope you enjoyed it. I always like drawing stuff that has to do a lot with perspective, industrial designery stuff, but also architecture stuff. So this is really something that I enjoyed a lot. It was also nice to just show you what it looks like around me, what the things around me look like. But yeah, hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. You can also see more drawing content on my Instagram if you want to follow me there. There are links to my Gumroad in the description down below, so you can check that one out as well. But as always, the most important thing is that you folks have a great time, and see you in the next video.